آریانا افغانستان یگانه شبکه تلویزیونی ملی افغانها در خارج از کشور.
توانا بود ارکی دانا بود، ز دانش دل پیر برنا بود.
دلای آباکوکی خدا کنم گران قدرمن و دوستانو سلام علیکم. ایلت چرو خوشحال هوارم سی او دنن رازیده پوهن رناده په اخبارونه دیر خیرغلاست زي مریم اسماعیل ارسلایم او دا اخبارونه تاسته د آریانا افغانستان د نریواله شبکیز خبرونه دکام خدای دی وکړي چې د نن رازیده پوهن رناده اخبارونه معلومات هم استاسو از رپور او استفاده ورسیگی. بینندگان عزیز و ارجمند برنامه دانش روشنایی است. با آرزوی صحت و سلامت شما برنامه امروز آغاز می‌کنیم. امیدوار هستم شاد و صحتمند باشین و در هر گوشه و کنار جهان که هستین با عزیزانتان هفته خوش و پرثمره را سپری کرده باشین. دوستان عزیز و ارجمند، البته باید یادآور شوم که امروز دهمین سالگرد برنامه پوهن رناده و یا دانش روشنایی است. و بله 10 سال است که ما این برنامه را برای شما هموطنان عزیز تهیه میکنم و امیدوار هستم که استفاده خوبه کرده باشین و کرده بتانین. زندگی زود گذر است و 10 سالی که گذشت، البته در 2-3 سال اول ما فکر میکردم که خب 5 سال ما یک کمک است برای تلویزیون آریانا افغانستان و همچنان یک به اصطلاح یک کمیونیتی سرویس برای افغانای عزیز ماست. فکر کردم که شاید ما بر 5 سال برنامه را پیش ببرم و وقتی 5 سال قدر زود گذشت، خب 6-7 سال فکر کردم خب 10 سال شاید یک نمره خوب باشه و بعد از او کافی است. اما امروز بالاخره 10 سال برنامه است و اول از خداوند بزرگ شکرگزار هستم که به من این قدرت و توانایی را بخشیده که تانستم که در طول این 10 سال مصدر خدمت به شما هموطنان عزیزم باشم و دوم از همه شما بیننده های عزیز و ارجمند که همیشه بر من انرژی میدین و مرا مورد محبت و پشتیبانیتان قرار میدین که ما تانستیم که 10 سال ادامه بدم و مهمانای عزیز این برنامه از همه مهمتر که با همکاری از این مهمانای عزیز ما آنقدر برنامه برای خودم دلچسب می باشه هر بار که از مهمانای عزیز ما بسیار یاد می آموزم و مهمانای عزیز از طریق این برنامه که ما برایشان به اصطلاح یک پل ارتباطی هستم بین شما و بین مهمانای ما که اونا فهم و دانش خود از طریق برنامه ما به اختیار شما هموطنان عزیز میگذارن که این بسیار زیاد جای خوشی است و ما از همه مهمانای عزیز خود در 10 سال در طول 10 سال که همراه ما همکاری کردن و در برنامه ما حصه گرفتن بعد اظهار سپاس و امتنان میکنم. نمیخوایم که اسم مهمانای عزیز یاد کنم به خاطر در طول 10 سال فکر کنین که هر برنامه مشکل است که نام اسمای همه مهمانای عزیز گنجانیده شد، به خاطر که اگر خدای نخواسته اسم 1-2 نفر از پیش ما باقی بمانه و یاد نکنم، نمیخوایم که احساسات کسی جریه دار شود و باعث ناخوشی همکارای عزیز خوب برنامه میشن و همچنان از فامیل محترمم که همیشه مرا پشتیبانی میکنن، از اونا هم ممنون و سپاسگزار هستم که مرا همیشه تشویق کردن. 2 شخصی که بسیار زیاد من همیشه تشویق کرده، مادرم خدا روشن شاد داشته باشه و شوهرم که اینا همیشه مرا بسیار همکاری کردن. معذرت میخوام. خب دوست عزیز، زندگی خوشی و نارامی داره و مادر خود از دست دادیم 2 سال پیش، ولی میفهم که با ما هستن. هر برنامه مرا به بسیار شوق و علاقه میدیدن. همیشه مرا از طفولیت تشویق میکردن. و شوهر عزیز مسعود جان که یک انرژی بسیار مثبت و یک پشتیبانی بسیار قوی است. و البته در 2 سال اول برنامه مسعود جان آنقدر با من همکاری میکرد که بعضی اوقات من میگفتم که مسعود جان پرودیوسرم است. ولی حالا مسعود جان البته چون هم مصروفیت خودش زیاد است و هم فکر میکنه که ما دیگه شاید به کمک زیاد ضرورت نداشته باشم، یک کمک از پای خود بیرون کرده. اما باز هم وقتی که من ضرورت دارم همیشه همسر عزیزم همراه من است و از هم زیادتر آنقدر علاقه داره به برنامه و مشوق بسیار خوب برنامه هم هست. حتی وقتی که ما نظر به اینکه حالت صحیم خوب نباشه و یا با کار میتینگ داشته باشم و یا تعطیل باشیم، حتی برنامه های تکراری ما با بسیار شوق و علاقه خاص میبینم. و شما بیننده های عزیز که ایمیل های گرمتان پر از محبتتان و در هر محفل که یک کنسرت و یک جایی که شما را میبینم از لطف و شفقتتان که مرا نوازش میدین، بسیار تشکر. و البته 10 سال قسمه که دوست عزیز شما شاید فکر کنین که من شاید بسیار بی‌مضمون باشم. نه خیر نی. قسمی که اکثریت شما دوستای عزیز با ما آشنایی دارین، من معلم هستم. معلم نه تنها فول تایم، امسال مثلا اضافه تر هم کار میکنم. به خاطر وقتی خواهش میشه از پیش مجبور هستم قبول کنم، به خاطر که از نگفتن زیاد خوشم نمیاد که باید یاد بگیرم. و همچنان همسر هستم، مادر هستم، دختر هستم. مسئولیتم بسیار زیاد است. اما وقتی که شما عزیزا من تشویق میکنین و هم بر ما ایمیل میکنین که بر ما میگین که شما از برنامه استفاده خوب کردین و یک کمک میشه براتون، یک راه حل براتون پیدا کردین، یک کسی را که شما میخواین امرشون ارتباط حاصل کنین، ما شما رو معرفی کردیم، خودم با یکی مستقیما چیزی نکردین. اینمی که شما عزیزا تانستین که از برنامه استفاده مثبت کنین و تا به حال پشتیبانی میکنین. من ممنونتان هستم و امی باعث از این شده که من بتانم برنامه را پیش ببرم و خوشحال هستم که تلویزیون آریان افغانستان است که برای من امی زمینه مساعد شده و امیدوارم که آقای مسکینیار هم در طول 10 سال از من راضی بوده باشه. فکر میکنم اصلا به خاطر شکایت نکردن و برنامه دوام داره. انشالله که خودش یک ساین و علامه خوب است. خب دوست عزیز، یک لاین تلفن داریم، میگیریم، باز بعداً صحبت میکنیم. بله سلام بفرمایید.
السلام علیکم محترم خانم ارسلا.
سلام به شما.
با شما برای الان نیازی هستم. بسیار زیاد خداوند مادرکت مغفرت کنه، در هر پولی که افتاده بهترین جای جنت جایش باشه. اولین دفعه ما شنیدیم، من خبر نداشتم، من در پنسیلوانیا هستم. به خاطر که خودت یک شخصیت بسیار بزرگوار هستی، لباس سنگین، اما مادرت بود که تو را شیر داده، تو را تربیه کرده که چه قسم لباس سنگین میپوشی و چه قسم در برنامه می سنگین میشینی و چه قسم اخلاق داری. من بسیار زیاد متاثر شدم. امیال شنیدم، من برنامه های تا میبینم، مگه من خبر نداشتم از مادرکت. من در پنسیلوانیا هستم، حتی آمدم کالیفرنیا میامدم. با
مهربان هستین، لطفتان است.
1,24,000 پیغمبر خود، برای 1,24,000 پیغمبر خود در مابین جنت برش قصر آباد کنه. به خاطر که مثل یک اولاد تربیه کرده که خدمت میکنم به مردم افغانستان. یکی و دیگه یکی هم پشتو میگی هم فارسی میگی. ما شما پشتو زبان و فارسی زبان نداریم.
بله.
ما شما افغان
هستیم.
افغان باید پشتو هم بفهمم، فارسی هم بفهمم.
بله.
بسیار زیاد من متاثر شدم.
زنده باشین آقای نیازی. لطفتان است، از لطفتان، از مهربانیتان بسیار زیاد تشکر. ممنون محبتتان و از اینکه بزرگواری کردین، تلفن کردین. بسیار تشکر از شما.
قربانت چه ما حق داری.
تشکر. زنده باشین.
ما دفعه گفتم بر
خواهش میکنم. خب شما زنده باشین. تشکر. زنده باشین. لطف شما.
چادر بیل فاطمه زارا کفتات پینه خورده بود.
تشکر.
خداوند مادرک تا بهترین جای جنت بنصیبش کنه. بهترین جای جنت جایش است. به خاطر که یک اولاد واقعی تربیه کرده که چه قسم لباس سنگین. همیشه وقت پیش برنامه که میایی لباس سنگین، حتی هم فارسی میگی هم پشتو. آدم نمیفهم که پشتو زبان است یا فارسی.
تشکر.
مگم افغان هم باید فارسی بفهمه هم پشتو بفهمه. مگم باز برنامه سازاست کس از طرف فارسی زبان، من خودم از 70 پشت خود از کابل هستم. فارسی زبان پشتیبانی میکنم. بسیار غلط است. کار خوب نیست.
بله تشکر بسیار آقای نیازی محترم گرامی از لطفتان، از مهربانیتان بسیار تشکر. واقعا که ما هم افغانا باید که تفرقه ها و نفاقهای زبانی و نژادی را از بین ببریم. وقت از این رسیده که ما قبول کنیم اگر ما یک جا متحد نباشیم، هم زبان و هم کش نباشیم و دری و پشتو که زبان ملی اردویش زبان ملی ما است احترام نداشته باشیم، باید که هیچ وقت افغانستان آرام و آزاد نمیشه و اشخاصی که این نفاقها را البته دامن میزنن باعث ازی میشن که با یک آتش خفیف اینا شعله‌ور ساختن و تمام تقصیر و گناه از اشخاص است که بین همه اقوام و همه زبان ها نفاق مندازن. و ما البته با وجودی که از پدر و مادر پشتو زبان هستم، ولی چون میفهم که همه تنهای ما زیادتر به زبان دری راحت هستند، بدون کدام تعصب به خاطر ما همیشه زیادتر دری صحبت میکنم، به خاطر زبان وسیله افهام و تفهیم است. و اگر من تمام برنامه براتان پشتو صحبت کنم و یکی بر اشت بیننده های ما نفهمن که من چی میگم، اشتباه است. و از این خاطر که اردوی زبان ماست و اردو زبان مقبول و زیباست، خوب است که اردو زبان یاد داشته باشیم و از همه مهمتری که نفاق نبیاریم و تبعیض نکنیم. تبعیض زبانی و نژادی واقعا که باعث پراگندگی و نارامی همه ما می باشه، چی به سطح خانواده باشه، در سطح اجتماع و مخصوصا در سطح مملکت. خب دوستای عزیز ارجمند، البته ما در مورد برنامه باز بعداً صحبت میکنم، ولی هم جای داره که ما گفتم که از مهمانایم یادآور نمیخوایم شام که نمیخوایم که نام کس از پیشیم بانه، ولی یک چند مهمان ما که از 10 بار زیادتر امرای ما بودن در برنامه و ما سرشان حساب میکنم که بعد از این هم امرای ما همکاریشان ادامه میکنه و هر وقتی که ما از اونا دعوت کردیم دعوت ما لبیک گفتن و حاضر شدن و بسیار معلومات های خوب ارزنده را خدمت شما هموطنان عزیز ما گذاشتن. یکی هستن آقای رحمت احراری که دپیتی پلیس دپیتی شریف لاس آنجلس هستن. از همیشه میآین و از 10 بار اونا زیادتر در برنامه ما بودن، از 20 بار زیادتر در طول 7-8 سال البته که همراهشون آشنایی دارم و همیشه مهربانی میکنن. دکتر صاحب اوریا که یک دکتر فکر کنین که چقدر مصروفیت داره و البته نگفتن ما دکتر صاحبا همشون سخاوت میکنن، همشون آمدن همیشه در برنامه همکاری کردن امرای ما. ولی دکتر صاحب اوریا که حتی بعضی اوقات ما به لحظه آخر هم چون میفهم که به خود حاکمیت دارن، بدون آمادگی ما بعضی اوقات یک میمون ما تغییر میکنه اسکیجولشان و اونا را ریسکیجول میکنم. دکتر صاحب اوریا با بسیار لطف و سخاوت معلومات‌های بسیار خوب را خدمت شما بیننده های عزیز میگذارن و دکتر مریم قدرت که همچنان بارهای بار است که در برنامه ما آمدن و معلومات بسیار خوب برای شما عزیزان در چی در داخل امریکا برای جوانای ما برای نفعشان برای استفادهشان باشه و چی در موضوعات داخل کشور که اونا هم فعال هستند همیشه میاین صحبت میکنن، معلومات ها و راهنمایی های بسیار خوب را میکنن و جای افتخار است که یک خانم افغان داریم که آنقدر نام خدا رساندن که میتونن بیاین که برای خانم های افغان دیگه اینا یک نمونه و رول مدل باشن. مهری جان تاییدی که نرس پرکتیشنر هستن، اونا هم هر وقتی که ما برشان با نوتس کم گفتین آماده شدن. دکتر صاحب عزیز عایشه جان و عبدالله جان شیرزایی که هم همکارای خوب برنامه و هم دوستای بسیار خوب ما هستن، اونا هم بارها آمدن به برنامه و یک جوان بسیار عزیز اسیب جان آژند که موتیویشنال سپیکر بسیار خوب هستن، اونا هم از 10 بار زیادتر بودن. ولی باز هم از همه هموطنای ما جوانای عزیزی که میآین، یکی از اهداف این برنامه دوستای عزیز معرفی جوانان موفق است. اما افغانان موفق ما البته بر هر سطح و بر هر سن و سالی که هستند و مخصوصا جوانای ما که در اینجا بزرگ میشن و به دنیا آمدن و خود به یک جایی میرسانن، اونا نمونه ها و رول مدل های بسیار خوبی هستند برای همه هموطنای ما. وقتی اونا میاین از همتان ممنون و سپاسگزار هستم و نگفته نباید بگذارم که چون از جوانان یاد کردم مایمی شروع فارغ التحصیلی کالج ها و پانتون ها می باشه و این برنامه اختصاصی میره که هر سال برای معرفی و استقبال از این جوانای ما که از پانتون های بسیار خوب درجات عالی چی درجه بچلر دیگری باشه، مستر دیگری، دکترت دیگری، فلوشیپ و یا هر موفقیتی که به سوی عالی باشه. عموما ماه جون و جولای ما از اونا 2-3 برنامه می داشته باشم که عکس هایشون نشان میتم، از اونا از تحصیلاتشون یاد میکنم و یک برنامه است که مورد استقبال همه افغان عزیز ما قرار میگیره و دوستای عزیز خواهش میکنم که ایمیل ما روی صفحه تلویزیون است mir@gmail.com و هم از طریق فیسبوک عزیزانتان که از پوانتون ها به هر درجه علمی که فارغ میشن لطفاً عکس گریجویشن یا فارغ التحصیلیشان با معلوماتی که به کجا تحصیلات خود تمام کردن و به درجه علمیشان چی است و چی پلان های دارن میخوایم که بر ما بفرستین که باز ما از اونا باز هم یادآوری کنم. و باز هم دوست عزیز اگر از یاد ما رفته باشه، گفتم نام فقط از چند نفر یاد کردم، همه مهمان عزیزم از شروع برنامه تا به امروز که شما امرای ما بودین، شما یک پشتوانه بسیار خوبی بودین، برنامه های من جالبتر و دیدنیتر و زیباتر و پرمحتواتر ساختین. بسیار ممنونتان، بسیار خوشحال هستم که شما را همیشه داشتیم و امیدوار هستم که شما را باز هم همیشه در کنار داشته باشم. از یک گروه یک گلیبس کوچک دارم که افغانای عزیز ما که سایکیاتریست و یا سایکولوژیست هستن بسیار کم حاضر میشن در برنامه بیاین، به خاطر که میفهم وقتشان زیق است، اما هموطنای ما بسیار ضرورت دارن. ببینید که افسردگی یا دیپرشن چقدر در اجتماع افغان زیاد است، سویساید و یا خودکشی چقدر زیاد است و دیگه پرابلم های روانی همه ما داریم. نه تنها ما افغان‌ها، در تمام جهان است، در تمام امریکا میبینین، ولی ما باید که اجتماع افغانی خود کمک کنیم و از دکتر صاحبه محترمه که در رشته روانشناسی چی سایکیاتریست باشن و چی سایکولوژیست، لطفاً اگر 2 ماه بعد 3 ماه بعد وقتتان در اختیار برنامه بگذارین، بیاین در موضوعات مهم صحبت کنین، اذهان و افکار هموطنای ما را روشن بسازین، بسیار از بهشتون خوشحال میشم. خب دوستای عزیز ارجمند، چون گفتم که 10مین سالگرد برنامه است و هم گفتم یکی از اهداف ما معرفی جوانای موفق، مهمانهای موفق، افغانهای موفق ما که در هر ساحه پیشرفت‌های زیادی کردن، یکی از البته اهداف برنامه است. و در برنامه امروز برنامه بسیار ویژه است که یک مهمان بسیار عزیز را دارم که در این قسمت هیچ وقت مهمان نداشتیم. در اولین بار در تاریخ این مهمان ما در موردی که صحبت میکنن، در موضوعی که معرفی میشن، اینا اولین افغان هستند و بسیار زیاد خوشحال هستم، بسیار زیاد جای افتخار است به من که من این مهمان عزیز دارم، ولی چون وقتشان کمتر است شاید 1.5 ساعت با ما باشن و از او خاطر من صحبتهای خود اول تمام کردم و در آینده انشالله که باز هم میاین. مهمان گرامی ما هستن آقای عمر قدرت که وقتی که در آغاز سالهای 70 فامیلشان به کالیفرنیای جنوبی مهاجر شدن، آقای قدرت هم به اینجا به دنیا آمدن. البته سنشان نپرسیدیم ولی شاید در سالهای 80 جوان معلوم میشن و او فامیلشان به سالهای 70 مهاجرت کردن و آقای قدرت در اینجا به دنیا آمدن و عمر جان قدرت درجه بچلر دیگری خود از پوانتون UCLA و یونیورسیتی آف کالیفرنیا لاس آنجلس اخذ کردن و 2 درجه ماستری و درجه دکترا را در رشته حقوق و یا رشته جوریس دکترت از پوانتون سیراکوز اخذ کردن و جوان هستند که در فعالیت در سیاست امریکا هم فعال هستند، برای افغانستان هم قلبشان میتپه و زحمت میکشن و اینا اولین کاندید کنگرس ایالات متحده امریکا هستند که در تاریخ اولین بار است که افغان ما کاندید چنین پوزیشن هستند که کاندید کنگرس ایالات متحده امریکا هستند و ما میخوایم که شما افغانای عزیز در برنامه امروز فقط در موردشان صحبت میکنیم که در مورد سابقه و بک‌گراند خود صحبت کنن، یک اندازه معلومات که با خودشان بشناسیم و همچنان برای شما بیننده های عزیز یک دلخوشی باشه و یک امید باشه که ما یک نماینده می داشته باشیم که از ما نمایندگی میکنه بعد از این که برای همه ما یک قدرت و قوت قلب می بخشه. بسیار زیاد خوشحال هستم، بسیار جای افتخار است به ما که آقای قدرت امروز در استودیو با ما هستن. خوش هستم که با ما هستین. آقای قدرت خوش آمدید. سلام به شما.
بسیار تشکر.
و البته صحبت‌های ما امروز آقای قدرت به زبان انگلیسی می باشه، در انگلیسی میکس، به خاطر که جوانای عزیز ما که آینده ما شماست و در امینجا مثل آقای قدرت تولد شدن، در امینجا مکتب رفتن و کالج رفتن، با زبان انگلیسی برای اونا هم خوب است که آقای قدرت صحبت کنن و فکر میکنم که برای آقای قدرت برای خودشان هم موضوعات را صحبت میکنن برشان بهتر باشه که به زبان انگلیسی صحبت کنند. Thanks again for being here.
تشکر سه و هم خوب است از خاطر که انگلیسیم از فارسی میکنه یک ذره قوی تر است.
آفرین که شما ما کمره شما چند بار صحبت کردیم، نام خدا فارسی مقبول صحبت میکنیم. در اینجا تولد شدین. آفرین پدر و مادرتان باید اونا رو یک روز دعوت کنیم که بیاین که راز موفقیت خود در راه تربیه فرزندانشان که عرصه نام خدا چقدر پیشرفته هستین و دکتر صاحب مریم قدرت که خواهر عمر جان قدرت هستن همیشه مهمان برنامه ما هستن و اونا گفتن امانه که از یک ماه قبل اونا رو هم اسکیجول کرده بودم بر هفته آینده مهمان ما هستن. اما عمر جان قدرت دو شب پیش در یک محفل دیدم وقتی که فهمیدم که به شهر هستن. بسیار یک پروگرام دفتنی بود که ما اونا را دعوت کردم، از او خاطر هم زیاد عمیق نمیریم و میخوایم که فقط سطحی صحبت کنیم. یک لاین تلفن به اجازه تان میگیرم، فکر میکنم که مهم باشه چون بسیار زیاد زنگ. بله سلام بفرمایید.
سلام. I wanted to ask questions for Omar Qudrat.
Okay, give me your question. Okay, I'm going to write down your question. Once I ask him, then I will, once he talks about himself, then we will discuss your question. What's your question? No, I will take your question and if time permits, I will ask that. And if not, I'll save it for future. Where does he stand? Okay. I understand. I got your question. Thank you. Where does he stand on immigration policy? If time permits, we'll talk about. Okay. Right. Okay. Sure. Thank you very much. Bye-bye. بله سلام بفرمایید. هلو. خب البته اگر وقت برنامه یاری کرد ما سوال میکنم، سوالهای البته خودم میگیریم، ولی چون وقت کم است و قسمی که گفتم که امروز 10مین سالگرد برنامه ما بود، معذرت میخوایم که زیادتر صحبت ها رو مکردم و میفهم که وقت شما هم بسیار ضیق است امروز. بعضی سوالایی را که شاید بیننده های ما تلفن کنن، دوستای عزیز بعد از اینکه ختم برنامه هم میتونید با ما تلفن کنین و یا ایمیل کنین سوالایتان که در برنامه های آینده بتونیم که از آقای قدرت سوالا رو برشان طرح کنیم. خب آقای قدرت, first of all if you can tell me what got you to decide to run for this position? How did you get involved in politics? If you can give us some background.
Sure. First, let me thank you for inviting me, and congratulations on your 10-year anniversary of the show. I'm very proud to be here. I'm very lucky to be your guest today on the show. I know I speak for a lot of Afghan Americans in my generation who look up to you as someone who promotes the issues that you do.
Thank you.
And so, I wanted to begin by congratulating you and thanking you for having me on.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you.
So, my background has really not been political. I've been a national security professional, and so that's about as opposite as politics it gets. And what that essentially means as a career is you're restricted from certain types of political expression. You're a quiet professional, and you're engaged in trying to advance the national security of your country without really sort of, gaining any acclaim or publicity. It's something that as national security professionals we're not interested in generally. So what got me to this point, I should probably start with my upbringing. So
Sure, yes. That'll be great for everyone to know how you started.
So both of my parents, as you know, are Afghan, and they came to the United States in the early 70s. And so being born to Afghan parents, we all have a similar experience where there are several very, very core characteristics that are instilled in you at an early age. Freedom, the love of freedom, self-determination. As history has shown, Afghans are a very determined people. Generosity, honor, and being engaged with the issues in your society. It just seems to be something that Afghans are. My father instilled in me a fighting spirit from early on in my early age, to fight hard and fight early, and in a sense be irreverent to systems, no matter how dominating the structure is. So just to sort of move it along, my life experience was very, very helpful. I grew up in Los Angeles at a time where there was a lot of turbulence with the gang culture at the time.
Right.
And I grew up in a neighborhood where I think I started to gain some insight as to what kinds of policies were successful and what kinds of policies were failures, in spite of political rhetoric, as we call it today. So that was just sort of my life experience. How I got to, let me just jump forward now, past my career. I was interested in national security and foreign affairs, obviously, and that's why I got into the positions I was in. And very briefly, I've been a prosecutor on terrorism cases for the last 5 years of my time with the federal government. And prior to that was an advisor to the International Security Assistance Force in Afghanistan, working on rule of law, trying to help redevelop Afghanistan's justice system, and then political advisor to the NATO ambassador. The direct question and the direct answer of how I got to this point, I left government and I came back home to California. I think for all Americans, probably, just sort of viewing the climate that we're in politically, it puts you in a position where you can't just keep your back on the wall anymore. And the issues are so important. It's going to take people like, you and, I think hopefully people like me who will get in there and sort of bring a different type of fight into this debate and stand up for what's right and bring a country over party ethos, and not having, a sort of subordinate culture of, just because someone is a member of this party or that party, you either have to be for them or against them. We really just have to get back to the core of what's right, what ideas work, what's effective, what's, for me, the three criteria for any policy is it legal, is it ethical, and is it effective? And so that's essentially what guides me there. But, if I had to put it in one sentence, what made me do this, it's a total dissatisfaction with where this country is and where it needs to be. And having been in Washington, D.C. and seeing the decision-making process firsthand, having seen leaders, I came away with a very sobering experience, which was in Washington, D.C., you have a lot of people who are selling the American people an experience. They aren't really achieving anything. And all you really have to do is look around. Look at the result. Look at the state of our country today, domestically and internationally. I don't even really need to articulate on it. But they're not achieving results, and what we're seeing is packaging of talking points and zero results. I essentially lost my patience and decided, I have to just get in this fight. And what I'll close this up with is I hope that this process shows Afghan Americans that there's no mystique to it. I'm just a regular person. I tried to gain as much experience as I could in the world, and I hope that young Afghan Americans get involved in a meaningful way, and regardless of party and political leanings, views on all the issues, we just have to get involved meaningfully, and we also have to bring back a culture of unity to this country.
Very good. So maybe this has nothing to do with your candidacy, but when you said where you were raised and where you went to school, I'm very impressed that in a gang-dominant society, someone like you, between two cultures, how did you become who you are right now, instead of, God forbid, joining a gang? Because being a minority, being raised in between two different cultures, it's not easy. So what were your, did you have any obstacles? How did it help? Did it help you? Did it scare you? What kind of experience was that?
I think, so many African Americans in my generation and other generations have had a similar experience,
right.
And so many Americans. But for me, it was essentially my parenting. There were obstacles, but I just wasn't trained to view them as obstacles.
Mm-hmm.
Everything sort of seemed as surmountable. Mm-hmm. Everything seemed achievable. And like I said, my dad, made sure that I was getting into fights early on and making sure that, there wasn't any sort of obstacle that was, that was going to get in the way. I'll just, sort of put it that way. So, I know that the influences are so strong. One of the issues that's extremely important to me because of my experience having gone to public schools in Los Angeles growing up is education. And, it's something that just has reached a point where we have decade after decade after decade of schools, public schools, that are failing children. I mean, I remember when I was in high school, I was lucky I was in a magnet program, but I was part of a regular public school, and I was a teaching assistant, in 10th grade to a teacher in an English class. And this was part of the regular school, not the magnet, but on the same, sort of campus. And I remember collecting papers, and it was a test, and there were 10th graders who could not read and write. They were writing like, I'm talking about at a kindergarten level. And these are our public schools today. They still rank the lowest in the country in California, among the lowest in the country and in the world. There's really no excuse for that. This is such a large economy. But, I'm just tying that back to, the obstacles that I've faced. They continue. I mean, there are kids growing up, in these schools now, and they're essentially in facing a future that doesn't exist for them. So, the obstacles were probably tough, but I think growing up to African American parents, I think we all share a similar experience that we're just trained not really to see a lot of difficulty in anything ahead of us.
Right. So maybe because the reason I posed that question, because at that time your family migrated, there weren't a lot of Afghans. So now we do have a lot of families close together, so it's probably have less impact. But at the same time, maybe that was an advantage for you, because then your parents had to keep a closer eye on you, because they knew that you don't have any other Afghan friends probably. So you're talking about public schools, being a public school teacher myself, and you being a product of public schools. Do you favor public education? What's your opinion on public education?
Again, my criteria for any policy, and the key factor here is that it's effective. And so whatever's going to be effective, we have to just kind of cut through things and look at the objective. If the objective is that children get the best possible education, whatever that answer is, and whoever's feelings it hurts, whether it's this party or that party, I don't really care. So if public schools are going to be put in a position to give our children the type of education that they deserve, then that would be great. I don't really see that happening everywhere in California. I know that the neighborhood that I grew up in hasn't really improved much, and a lot of public schools in Los Angeles. I know Orange County is a great place for public schools, and it's very different. But for the most part, this goes to sort of one of my core beliefs, is that the government doesn't always do it best. The government isn't always the solution, and that was my life experience. My life experience brought me to that conclusion.
Okay. همکار عزیز شهاب جان، اگر لطف کنین چون لاینای تلفن نامخدا زیاد است و وقتم کوتاست. اگر امکان داشته باشه شما بعضی سوالا رو بگیرین نوشته کنین، به خاطر اگه من اینا رو بگیرم بعضی اوقات از امکان نداره خب از موضوع خارج نمیشیم، نمیخوایم که از موضوع خارج شویم. خب عمر جان، are you running as a Democrat or Republican?
I'll be running as a Republican. And let me just take a minute to say why. And, immediately when, and I know that there's an instinct, if you're a Republican and you hear someone's a Democrat, there's a human instinct to rush to, I know exactly what this person is and isn't, and that's it.
Right.
So I want to just take a minute to, one, say why I'm Republican, and secondly, to just let, our population know, in the United States, I have a long road ahead of me. I have not yet formally announced my campaign, and there's going to be plenty of opportunity. I'm going to be very specific about my views. I haven't yet formally announced my campaign. All that will happen. I'll ask the Afghan American community the same thing that I ask anybody. Reserve judgment until you've gotten to know me.
Okay.
And so that's all I'm really asking. And I'm talking to, any party affiliation right now. The Republican Party right now, one other thing that I should mention before I say why I'm Republican, there's diversity of thought. There isn't one type of Republican. I mean, there are so many factions in the Republican Party now. I'm almost starting to lose track of who's who. And there's so much diversity of thought that, the party itself couldn't get together on the first go around on the, healthcare bill. It failed because there was so much diversity of thought. And so that's another reason why I'm asking for a reservation of judgment from every American. What I can say right now is I'm not the kind of, Republican most people are going to necessarily be able to think, because it's just too hard to put people on the spectrum these days. So why am I Republican? Again, I'll tie it back to the answer that I've already given in terms of my life experience. I've lived failed policies. Number one, I've lived them. There are so many politicians that advocate for policies. They themselves have never seen their policy implemented on a human being. They've never seen it in action. There's just sort of this intellectual attraction to this idea versus that idea. And, for me, I have a very pragmatic reason why I think what I think. I've seen the government fail at doing a lot of things, from my childhood, but then also being in Washington, D.C., and working in national security. I mean, we've seen the way conflicts have looked over the past several years. We've seen a lot of things not work, and we've seen a lot of bad ideas become operationalized in Washington, D.C. So I'm Republican because I want the power of the government to be more limited and the power of the people to increase.
Okay.
I want the government to stay out of people's lives, and I want my party to be consistent when I say that. And what I mean by that is, if we believe in limited government, I want to see that across the board, not just economically. I want to see justice, economic justice, social justice. I want to see that essentially, just like freedom-loving people, Afghan people are, and American people are, just leave people alone. Let them keep their money, promote an environment that's going to help people succeed, ordinary people succeed. I want to see the government be checked very, very hard on any abuses of power. And I'm talking about the full range. The system needs to work. The courts get the last call. The Supreme Court is the law of the land. Those are just a couple of the reasons why I'm a Republican.
Very good. Okay. So, if you get elected, or optimistically speaking, when you get elected, how would you represent Afghan Americans?
That's a great question. So, I mean, I should, I want to be very clear about this. I'm not trying to represent Afghan Americans. I think that's impossible to do. We have an extremely rich and diverse population in America. It's, first of all, impossible to represent Afghans because, you put two Afghans in a room, you get three opinions. Okay? And we have nothing but chiefs and no Indians. So there's no, I don't even think it's possible. We're just like any other group of Americans. I mean, we all think differently. We have different types of people. If you ask, every Afghan American, what their top 5 issues are, I would imagine you would get very different things. And so, I'm not the leader of the Afghan American community. I'm not trying to be the leader of the Afghan American community, and I'm not going to hold myself out to be. As Afghan Americans, we face every other issue every American does. And so what I want to make sure that I don't do is to get drawn in by people on the opposing side of me who would like me to get drawn in as someone who's only contributing as to religion and ethnicity. I have nothing more, we as Afghan Americans have nothing more to contribute to the national discourse than a passive identity. Just let's talk about ethnicity. Okay, here's someone who's Muslim. Let's start talking about Islam. What's wrong with Islam? What's wrong with Afghanistan? Look, I don't see anybody asking white Americans who are running for Congress what their views on about religion all day. So, I was born and raised in this country. The Afghan American community is very diverse. We're American, and so every issue touches us, from jobs, economy, access to healthcare, social issues. We care about the same things, national security, our foreign policy. And so, I just want to be very, very careful and very clear that the Afghan American community understands that I'm running for Congress. I represent myself. I don't represent the Afghan community. To the extent that I can be a voice for the people, of course, that's what I'm here for.
Okay, that's what I was going
and
to ask you.
I will draw upon that. And so over the next year and a half, I want people to get to know me in all communities, including ours.
Okay.
And I'm not going to just come to the Afghan American community and say, I have all the answers of what's going to help you.
Right.
I'll be showing up with a blank notepad and pen and asking, all communities, including the Afghan community, to tell me what their top issues are and what their policy proposals are. And like I've said in the last few opportunities I've had to engage young Afghan Americans who I've reached out to first before my campaign is announced, is I don't care what party you are, you have good ideas, sound policy proposals. It takes a little harder work to put together a solution that's actually going to solve a hard problem instead of, less meaningful engagement. I want to see those proposals, and if they make sense, if they're effective, if they're legal, if they're moral, I will make them part of my platform, regardless of the source or origin of the person's party affiliation.
Very good. So to get to know you a little further, so our viewers also could get to know you, I'd ask you to bring a few pictures. So we are going to show the pictures. If you could kindly explain, give us some background information about each one, so we can get to know you a little further. امکار عزیز اگر عکس ها رو به نمایش بگذارین.
So this was me at the Pentagon swearing an oath to the Constitution of the United States as an officer in the U.S. Army. I'm currently a reserve officer in the U.S. Army. I want to clarify too, just here, that the military in the United States is prohibited from making endorsements, so this photo does not imply an endorsement from the military or the Department of Defense. That was me at the Supreme Court of the United States with my parents, and I was sworn in to practice before the Supreme Court as an appellate attorney. My parents came to the ceremony.
Okay. خب البته امکار عزیز عکس‌های تعداد دیگه هم بود که اگر لطف کرده همیشه نشان بدین. دو عکس البته ما شما کمک سانسور کرده بودیم به خاطری که آقای قدرت اجازه نداشتن که اونا را البته کس را اندورس کنن. امیدوار هستم که عکس‌های دیگر هم به ما نشان بدین. و آقای قدرت let's say because the purpose of my program is to educate everyone. Especially I want my young guests to be role models. I want young people to find the answers the easy way, not the hard way. So through our guests, through their guidance, from their experience, if we, which I'm sure there are a lot of even young, I have a 13-year-old son who's so interested and involved in politics, and there are a lot of young minds there. what would you tell them? What is the best way to prepare themselves now to be future leaders, to be involved in politics? Because we need more. I mean, I'm very excited, very happy that you are the first. But at the same time, I'm very sad that so far we didn't have anyone. So I want this to be a beginning, a great beginning. And I want our young ladies and gentlemen, high school students, middle school students, elementary school students, start thinking big now. So what would you advise them? What are the best ways to do to get started, to get involved? What kind of experiences at young age would help them? What can you tell us?
Okay, what age group am I talking
Any
about?
age group.
Okay.
Any age group.
Yeah, so I mean, I wasn't the best model for the younger teenager in terms of speaking to that group, but here's what I'll just sort of give from my experience going forward, and I'll tie it back to what I would say. People in Washington D.C., if we have African Americans that are interested in politics or policy or national security or anything in that world, people don't know what they're doing in Washington D.C., so they have nothing at all to be concerned about in terms of their competition. What I would encourage young Afghan Americans to do is just look at the result, look at the state of the country, look at the state of the world, and don't be afraid to compete with anyone else. Go for positions that you typically would think that you're not qualified for. I would say that you are, and you're probably going to find that you're more qualified than people way higher up in the chain once you get in the position. And so, I just went for positions that I was interested in because I just believed that I could do better than sometimes the person who, was above me. So it's really just a mentality is what I'm advising. I would want Afghan Americans to just get involved, but engage in a meaningful way. So if you're interested in policy, get involved in it. And it's just not enough today to, young people have not been meaningfully engaged. And that includes the entire population. College students, essentially for political campaigns, have been subjected to filling up rallies and making it look like, the person who comes on stage is popular, protests outside the building instead of being at the table, throwing grenades at each other on social media and giving some amount of money to a political candidate. Younger people in this country have way more to give than that. The Afghan American young generations have way more to give than that. And that's why I have invited the entire Afghan American youth, the entire community, college, younger, older, to, propose any ideas that they have. If they feel that, their ideas should be part of a national platform and they're dealing with candidates they support who they have never accessed or can't access, I will represent that. If it's legal, ethical, and effective as a policy. But bottom line takeaway, I think we need a mentality among our young people to be unafraid to compete with otherwise seemingly qualified individuals who are just not.
Very good. Okay, because we do want our young Afghans to think about it and to be involved, to be part of the solution. And if we don't get involved and complain, nothing will be solved.
I agree. Meaningful engagement. And so, if there's interest in policy as a career, apply. And I'll continue to make myself available to anyone I could, get linked into certain departments in Washington, D.C. And again, going back to what I've been saying, that doesn't mean that they have to sort of fit a certain ideological category or only Republican. I don't care what party people are. We're just at a point in time where we have to be effective. So, that's on the table for all Afghan American youth. That's who I've focused on in my pre-announcement phase. I'm someone whose door is always open. I'd like to hear from them, their proposals. And over the coming months, I look forward to the entire population of Afghan Americans getting to know me better. My policies...
And how long?
in the coming months,
Okay.
as the campaign gets underway.
Okay.
I haven't formally announced yet, and so all of my policy views will specifically be articulated at the correct stage. This is the pre-announcement stage, and so all that's going to inevitably, of course, come out. And today I just kind of wanted to introduce myself.
Okay.
And happy to have more specific policy discussions at future time.
Okay. خب همکار عزیز اگر عکس‌ها را آله بگذاریم که بله.
That's me and Senator McCain and ISAF headquarters in Afghanistan. 4th of July of 2012, Senator McCain has spent, I think, the last over 10 years spending 4th of July with deployed personnel overseas. It's me and Congressman Ed Royce. He's the chairman of the House Foreign Affairs Committee. And for many Afghan Americans who follow policies on Afghanistan, he has really tried to be a champion on Afghan policy issues. That's me again at the Pentagon at the flag room of the Joint Staff. That's me and my sister, Dr. Mariam Khadrat, with the chairman of the House Homeland Security Committee, Congressman Mike McCall. That's me in flight on a going to an overseas mission with the Department of Defense on a military aircraft. Afghan American conference recently in Washington, D.C. Incredibly impressive young Afghan Americans.
Tell us a little bit more about this. Were you a speaker there? Were you?
I was. I was a speaker on the panel on government and policy, I believe. And all I really have to say about the conference is this was my first real interaction with Afghan American youth after a very long time being busy in DC with my jobs that basically took all my time and I was hardly sleeping. I'm so impressed and proud with the level of acumen and energy that the generations have just completely changed from my time to what I saw there. It was a very impressive group of young Afghans. If anybody has a chance to interact with a group like that, they'll feel very hopeful about the future of Afghan Americans.
Very good.
It's me and General David Petraeus when he was a commander of the International Security Assistance Force in Afghanistan. That's at ISAF headquarters in, I believe, 2011. That's me with the Secretary General of Afghanistan's parliament.
This is in Afghanistan, of course.
In Afghanistan. That's me, having to do part of my yearly duties as a reserve officer in the Army, and again, no endorsement from the DoD or military.
All right, very good, thank you. So when was the last time you visited Afghanistan? How long was it like?
I think the last time I visited was in 2014. I was there for 3 weeks, and it was part of my job investigating potential war crimes committed against our coalition by alleged terrorists.
Okay. Was that, how many times have you been there?
I spent about 18 months there as a Department of Defense civilian lawyer and as a political advisor to the NATO ambassador. And then I visited, I think, 2 to 3 times after that.
Very good. So thank you very much for being with us. Is there anything else we need to know about you that I have not asked you?
We will have about a year and a half to get to know me.
Right.
So I will, I'll make sure, with your acquiescence, I would love to come back.
Sure.
And once my campaign is formally announced and, get into very specific discussions about policies.
Right. I have lines filled up, but because you said this is your pre-announcement and you're not at the position to get into more details, so I do apologize. بینندگان عزیز ارجمند از شما از اینکه لاینای تلفن پر است و نتونستم لاینای شما رو بگیرم به خاطر که آقای قدرت گفتن که امروز و قسمی که من هم گفتم منظور برنامه ما امروز برای بود که فقط اونا را با ایشان یک معرفت و آشنایی مختصر پیدا کنین و بعداً آیسته آیسته وقتی که اینا میاین صحبت میکنن با در جاهای مختلف با نه تنها افغان‌های ما در هر کمیونیتی که میرن اینا البته تمام پلان‌هایی که دارن نظریاتشان آیدیایشان هر چیزی که است در مورد صحبت میکنن ولی چون وقتشان زیق است و لینایت و همچنان قسم که گفتن سوال هایتان به خاطر که انوز این فقط شروع آغاز کارشان است که فقط هنوز رسما اعلان نکردن. از او خاطر ما نمیخوایم لینای تلفن بگیرم و همچنان نظر به کمبود وقت هم امیدوار هستم که معذرت ما قبول کنید. ولی اگر روی خط می باشین ما بعد از ختم برنامه سوالایتان میگیرم و برای آقای قدرت اگر بعد از برنامه اینجا بودن خودشان صحبت میکنه، اگر نبودن سوالایتان ما برشان ایمیل میکنم میفرستم، انشالله که پاسخگوی سوالایتان می باشند. Thank you very much again.
Thank you. Congratulations again on the 10-year anniversary.
Thank you. And I do apologize that if I hope I did give you enough time because I know you were pressed on time and also
Thank you.
I had other things to
and
say.
I will have various sort of engagements with the Afghan American community, and again making myself available.
And I'm sure everyone is excited. I'm sure you will have support of many Afghans once they get to know you, once they understand what is your mission, what are you. How do you feel about different situations that sometimes makes us angry, like you being a Republican right now with President Trump's policy? Everyone is probably extremely mad at him, and we can see that it's not just Afghans or minorities. In the government in the United States, also a lot of Republicans are against a lot of his ideas. So I hope people understand that. And دوستای عزیز قسمی که میفهمین که امروز در سیاست امروز حتی خود جمهوری خواهان و یا ریپابلیکن هایی که در وایت هاوس هستن با آقای ترامپ مخالفت های زیاد دارن و شما باید که امو ایدیا و موضوع ریپابلیک بودن مختص به این نسازیم که همه ایدیای تمام ریپابلیکن ها به ضد اقلیت ها و یا مینوریتی ها هستند. امیدوار هستم که ما هم در مورد آقای قدرت زیادتر بیاموزم و از اینا دعوت میکنم که در آینده بیاین و وقتی که کاندیدسی و کاندید بودن خود به صورت رسما اعلام کردن باز هم میاین با زیادتر امرایتان صحبت میکنن. بسیار زیاد تشکر آقای قدرت. Thanks again for.
Thank you.
خب دوستان عزیز و ارجمند با معذرت زیاد باز هم که دلیل گفتم که چون لاینای تلفنتون نگرفتم ولی بعد از ختم برنامه اگر تلفن میکنین 1000 دفعه باز از همه دوستای عزیزی که همیشه از برنامه پشتیبانی کردن ممنون و سپاسگزارشان هستم. باز هم با امید همکاری ها و پیشنهادات سالم و خوبتان هستم و همچنان از همه همکارای تکنیکی که در طول این 10 سال با ما همکاری کردن و البته به اصطلاح امرای ما پد اپ کردن از اونا هم ممنون و سپاسگزار هستم و از اداره تلویزیون آریان افغانستان که با ما امی موقع دادن و زمینه رو مساعد ساختن که ما چنین برنامه را داشته باشم و در خدمت شما عزیزا باشم. از اونا هم ممنون و سپاسگزار هستم و تا هفته آینده شما را به خداوند بزرگ میسپارم. خداوند یار و مددگارتان.
ز دانش دل پیر بر ناب بود.